Now we hear.
Did it go?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I can hear. See, I see it moving over there now.
Somehow or another it got slightly unplugged.
Okay. Well, we'll start over. Now we hear. And good morning again, ladies. How are y'all this morning?
Good.
Good.
Well, thank you for going with the pivot and the curveball and all that. We don't have a lender this morning, which is okay. Our lender is going with our West Side girls to state softball.
Yeah, I think so.
I get them confused. Softball, baseball, whatever.
I know
Ball
I
game?
saw. I know I
Ball
saw
game.
Quitman leave out this morning for state softball.
Okay.
So,
and
I
West
would
Side, they
think-
done their send off at like 8.
Yeah, that
15,
was about
8:30.
Yeah.
So we ready to talk about some real estate?
Sure.
So I want to touch on just really quick on I'm going to go with D.
Okay.
Kind of give me a little background about you. How long have you been in real estate?
I did this last week. No, I'm just kidding.
I was like, wait a minute.
Refresher.
Come on.
Refresher. I did.
David's doing the YMCA
David is-
dance in the background.
And
Oh, gosh.
yes, that mug was dancing, weirdo. Anyway, go ahead.
I've been in real estate for 5 years now, ish. I got licensed in 2020, and yeah.
Do you regret it?
No, not at all.
You love real estate?
I love real estate. I love being able to help people, get long-lasting relationships with everybody that you.
That
I think
seems
that's
to
my
be
favorite.
the bonus of
Yes.
doing it is you do form those relationships.
Yeah, for sure. And, get to see a bunch of cool houses and, that's nice, especially around here on the lake. We definitely have a obviously very picturesque, area, and being able to see all those views from those different houses is really cool.
Absolutely.
So,
So B,
This is my first year. Well, I guess I'm coming up on a year.
you're coming up on a
I
year.
am. In June or July, I'll have my license for a year. It's been a big learning curve for me, but I am getting there to the enjoying part of it. We will be getting there.
So because your story is a little unique. What made you get into real estate?
She got harassed.
I got harassed by David and Jesse for about 4 years.
It was a minute. It was a
It was
minute.
a hot minute.
Yeah.
But finally decided to give in. I was like,
We
oh.
beat her down enough.
It's like, if they'll leave me alone about it, I guess. No. But I did decide to do it, and I'm glad I did. It's taken me a minute to get to where I can be full-time into it, but hopefully in the next few months it'll turn into that. And I'm excited about that. So,
Yeah.
It'll be good.
yeah.
Yeah.
So have y'all, because the first 2 episodes we've done in the last 2 weeks or whatever, we've had lenders in here as guests and we've talked about other things. Have we kind of give any indication or any input on kind of what we're,
No, we haven't got there yet.
okay,
So,
so you just do whatever.
yeah, I assume I'm the mouth
Yep.
today.
always.
Always.
What? So just like our other show, it's trial and error. We're going to have bumps in the road, curves, but our purpose and goal with the real estate show.
Well, kind of
is-
like with our Thursday night show. I mean, what it's when we started it, the intentions with it, and what it is now is kind of not the same. It's kind of the same, but kind of not the same. It's kind of turned into what it's turned into, what it is, whatever it is, and you want to call it.
Mm-hmm.
It's for the people on the other side of that camera, whoever you may be. Thank you for being here. And as conversations have happened with just people off camera, on camera, with
Oh,
people
yeah.
out in the public, and it's just kind of the Thursday night show has turned into what it's turned into, and it is what it is. And this show is kind of going to be the same thing. I mean, what we intended for it to be will probably change and probably develop into something that we don't know at this time. We're just
Right.
going to let it happen the way it happens. But that's the cool thing. I mean, it's this show or this podcast, this room is kind of like life. You get up every day and you put your pants on and you let the day unfold how the day unfolds. And we're
Clearly, that's what happened this morning.
yeah.
Yeah.
And so, it's just going to be what it's going to be. And we hope y'all get some value out of it, some encouragement out of it. And here at the Real Estate Center, if there's anything we can do to help, we have a ton of great people that are more than happy to be all the help you can need.
I mean, I'll just give you forewarning. Most of us in this office like to talk.
A lot.
Hey,
Oh, I said that out loud?
yeah,
Oh, I thought it
yeah.
was a thought.
To the world, to
Okay.
the world.
But yeah.
So, I would say let's kick it off with one of our properties that we're going to spotlight. And I think it was the 379 Hagel.
Heigl.
Hegel.
See?
I've always pronounced it Heigl. I don't know how it's actually pronounced. I always called Danube out at Tannenbaum Danube, and then somebody told. Anyway, I don't even remember how they told me it was the correct way to say it.
We had this conversation,
Yeah.
and I do
So-
not remember.
All the letters are there when I say it.
Yeah. If y'all see us like swatting or whatever,
As y'all
we're
know,
okay.
flies are
Man,
terrible
they're
Terrible.
right now.
awful.
I got the, I don't want to say ghetto, but like the sticky fly traps hanging up all in my house, and I'm like, I don't even care at this point. I just want them
No,
gone.
they're terrible
They're so
right now.
bad.
I know we just totally squirreled,
I
but
did.
so B, give us a little rundown on this property. It looks really pretty.
This is a 2,100 square foot. Is it a trailer?
Double wide mobile.
Double wide mobile. Mm-hmm. It has 3 bedrooms and 2 full baths, and it sits on about half an acre.
Half an acre. And it's on highway, old highway. Let me
25.
rephrase that. It's off of old highway 25.
Yes.
And you said it's on a half acre.
Yes, ma'am.
So let me see. The big question is,
Permanent foundation.
that's what I'm looking for.
I think
It's a crawl, so I'm almost positive that this is on a permanent foundation. She doesn't have it marked on there. But it's there again, great location. You are minutes from the lake.
Old Highway 25 Park
Yeah.
launch area.
Yep. And then of course just minutes from the river. You've got JFK just right around the corner. JFK lookout, sorry.
And you
Off the dam.
and you have the Arkansas Eiffel Tower, Walmart, just a few miles up the road.
I was like, the what?
Never heard it called
I haven't either.
Me neither. Just make it up as we go.
That's good though.
does have some raised garden beds already established.
Yes, and
a
it's got some
storage shed and a 20 by 30 garage and metal carport.
Yep, which you said the garage as that picture just
Oh.
went by.
Well, looky there.
So
I did that on purpose.
It was planned.
and it looks I ate too fast just a minute ago, so excuse me.
That's what happens when you eat breakfast like 30 seconds before you go live.
Well, anywho, very well maintained. The yard is manicured, and there's plenty of room, obviously, for a garden area. They have the raised beds. Yeah, it's got a fireplace, gas fireplace,
Yeah.
which is good for when the power goes out
Yeah.
and you need heat and
Well, location is everything too. So where it's located, I think, plays a huge factor.
That is the number one thing in real estate. That's the one thing that they drill into you in
It's like
school.
the first 3 rules.
Location, location, location.
Yeah.
And I mean, it puts you're out not in town, so you don't have the hustle and bustle, but you were literally just minutes from town.
Wow.
So that's a cool property. It's very nice. Go ahead.
No, I just back to kind of what I was talking about. I mean, we need the viewers to communicate, conversate,
Yeah.
because everything we do in this room is for the people on the other side of this camera, and whatever they think they want, need, whatever we can do, that's what we want to do.
Yeah.
But we did pull some
We pulled some stats.
this morning.
But before we jump into the numbers, I don't know what he done with that other paper.
Okay. Where's the marked up paper?
I thought we changed our mind on that one.
Which she was going to use it as an example to. But anyway,
Well, y'all continue on.
what I was going to say is let's talk the because on our stats, the one thing that I would like to explain and go into is the what does it mean if you see expired? So if you're
When you say expired, what do you mean? Expired milk?
Listen, Linda.
Well,
I'm,
no, I
I'm
mean,
going. I'm going.
Okay.
If you're on the website or if you're on Realtor or Zillow and you see that you pull up this property and it says expired on across the top of it, and it's an expired listing, and what does that mean, Dee?
It means that the listing is no longer active with the previous or with the agent that had it listed. So the listing had expired in their duration. So they might have had it for 6 months, they might have had it for a year, and it is now expired with that particular agent.
Right. Their listing agreement time period has expired. Now, that's not saying they won't relist with the same agent or they
Go with a different company. I mean, at that
Exactly.
point, they're able to
They're basically
either
free agents at that point. And they can
right.
Yeah. Yeah.
choose what they want to. What would you say maybe the most common reason a listing expires rather than sales?
It's a loaded question.
It is a loaded question.
It is.
Location. No, I'm just kidding.
Me personally, I come back to price.
Oh yeah, I mean,
Well, location.
yeah,
1, 2, price.
Yeah, I mean the first 3 rules are location, location.
Right.
Then
And then, like I try to explain, every property has a unique buyer.
oh yeah, for sure. Because there's also demand too. You know,
Correct.
around the lake area, we have the lake, and that's a demand kind of thing. So lakefront property versus lake view property versus a property that has a boat dock. You know, those are
Or
demand.
a rural property.
Yeah, or a rural property. I mean, there's so many different avenues here that's why it's a loaded question, because I don't know.
Because I will say, just, throwing it out there, which I think you're starting to learn as well, is we're a unique area.
Yeah.
And what works in Searcy or works in Conway or Little Rock or all of those other places.
Does not apply.
does
No.
not.
No. And so, I mean, I actually went on an interview day before yesterday, I think it was. And that was the conversation that, I had with them because they asked. And I was like, we actually
an
have to
interview, like a listing interview.
a listing
Okay, there
interview.
you go.
Sorry. Thank you.
Where are you going for a job interview? What are you doing?
Maybe. No. But and that's what I tell them, what you see working in other areas does not necessarily mean it works here. And so we have to think out of the box, and we have to, there again with anything else, it's trial and error.
We're just a totally different market. I mean, I'm not going to say some people don't come here for work, some people don't come here for the schools, so on and so forth, but the vast majority of the folks that come here for the same reason that you watching probably came here.
Yeah.
We got a big old pond,
Yeah.
and people love this place.
Right.
So that takes out a lot of, you go to Conway and you got college, you got kids moving there to go to school, you got people moving there for work, you got whatever it's the gamut of reasons, the normal reasons to where Greers Ferry is just not that way. Heber side of the lake may have a little bit more of that, but it's still not to the degree that it would be in Conway or Fayetteville or Little Rock.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. And
when we say it's different, that's the stuff we're talking about.
yeah. Yeah. And I mean,
And that's why when you're looking at like Zillow estimates and all that kind of thing, it's really not taking into account Greers Ferry Lake
there again, location.
location.
So, unfortunately, you'll hear us say location, location, location quite a bit because it plays such a large factor into our area. Well, I mean, in any area, but I would say for sure in ours.
And I'm going to throw another little thing out there. If anybody watching, listening, whatever, if y'all know of an appraiser or home inspector or anything involved in a typical transaction, I think we have some special guests coming in a couple of weeks. I'm not going to say who yet because, life happens. But we would love to get them on here, talk about things.
I'm real giddy about that one.
It's we're going to try to let everybody in on a little bit of behind the scenes of what happens in a real estate transaction, because I think a lot of people have the misconception that we talk on the phone a few minutes and then we're done.
We're not pencil pushers.
And there's a lot of things, a lot of steps. And I know from when we bought our first house, it seemed like every day the lenders or whoever we talked to would say, all right, we're good. And then you go to bed that night and you get up the next morning and your phone's blowing up and, hey, we need this, 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 and this. And it's not a simple process. There's a lot of hands in it, and everybody needs something a little bit different. And that's the reason you don't get bothered at work all day when you're buying or selling a house, if you've hired a realtor, is because they're fielding all those calls.
Mm-hmm.
And trying to help you figure out the best way to move forward with it.
Well, either way, too, on the listing side of things.
That's why I said whether you're buying or selling.
Buying or selling. I thought I heard just buying, but yeah.
Yeah, we're that person. You hired us for a reason, and our job is to keep you calm and you not stress. We do all the stressing.
We do all the stressing while you go to work and try to go through your day as normal as possible.
I don't know how many people I've told, during a transaction saying, I'm not stressed yet. Because I'm the one that has to do the stressing. They'll be all, frantic, or this isn't going to happen. What's going on? Da, da, da. I'm like, if I have not stressed yet, we're good. But when it gets to the point that I'm stressed, then we're going to be hustling.
I have actually told a couple of clients that don't stress until you see me stressed.
Right. Then we have a problem.
Then it's becoming bigger than I can handle. But we're gonna figure it out.
One way or another.
Yeah.
Yes.
And
so
how many folks just despise calling AT&T?
Or any dish, anything like
Right.
that.
Any of these things where it's animated and you got to hit this button, that button, and then when you do finally get somebody on the phone, well, we got to transfer you to this department and on and just on and on and on and on. We
do that for you so you don't have to.
we answer it
Yeah.
and we talk to you, and if you get mad at us, you can tell us all about it when we see you at lunch.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're not hiding behind a computer somewhere in a cave. This is not Peggy. Y'all remember that commercial?
I do.
I think it was a Capital One commercial
It
back
was.
in the day, and it was
Yeah.
this.
Hello, this is Peggy.
It was this woman that she was in like an igloo somewhere. Hello, this is Peggy.
And it was not a woman, it was a dude.
I don't remember, but it looked like a woman. I don't know. It's been a long time ago. That's been a long time ago.
And so I will say, and I'll say this too, just throwing it out there, thinking about B, you know, new agents, they don't just get their feet wet. They are nose first, diving off in it, and they are figuring it out as they go.
Yeah.
And it's not all glitz and glam.
It is not. It's not. I would have to assume it's nice to have a support system.
Yeah.
Yes.
Um,
And y'all have been great.
we,
Amazing.
we have a pretty good team of folks.
Yes.
Yeah,
It's,
getting that phone call from B, knowing we're out on the boat, and she's like, "I'm so sorry, I did not mean to call you," but and I was like, "Listen, a realtor is never off the clock.
Yeah.
It's
Always have your phone.
24/7. You know, we may not get your call right then, but no, we're calling you back.
Right.
But
and that's not just for our clients / customers. That's also for our fellow agents within the office or pretty much anywhere.
oh yeah,
If you're never in this alone.
Yeah.
So,
you can't be. You can't.
yeah.
Could you imagine getting into it and being all by yourself,
Oh, God, no.
figuring it out? I know.
I'd be
I
like,
would
here's
have
my license. Take it back. I
exactly.
don't want
That's
it.
what I was fixing
That
to
was
say.
the biggest waste of money ever.
Yeah.
I would have thrown in the towel and been like, okay, I tried. It is not for me.
Yeah.
But having a support system, a team that's standing behind you, encouraging and pushing. I like to push B a lot.
And just being available when you need help, whatever the help may be.
Yeah.
I mean, it has to be a good thing because, again, even for realtors, life happens.
Oh yeah. Well,
And-
that's like B. I mean D. Monday.
One of them E's.
E's. That's the funny thing about having both of you on.
I know. You might just have to call us by our real name.
I'm thinking so. Monday, we were traveling home from Texas, and Dee was like, "Hey, call me when you have service." And I was like, "Dude, we'll be back at the office in like 30, 45 minutes. Can it wait till then?" And she was like, "Oh, yeah." And I was like, "Okay."
Honestly, I think that is the scariest part about being a real estate agent.
Not having service.
In my mind, is no service,
Yeah.
whether it's phone service or internet service, because without those two things,
We're dead in the water.
Yeah.
we are pretty well.
Yeah, you
Not
can't open
exempt.
if they have a lockbox on the house that's Bluetooth. You can't open the
Can't
lockbox.
open it.
Well, you're not even gonna know you need to open it because you ain't gonna get the call that says, "Hey,
Yeah.
I mean, it's
Right.
just
And sadly,
it's
that's
like going to a baseball game with no bat, no ball, no glove.
that's the
You're not
one-
ready."
Yeah.
The one thing that I know we think about constantly, anytime we're buggy riding, boating, whatever. Well, we can't sit in this spot because we have no service. We got to move over to this spot. You know, we think about that a lot because what if one of y'all need us?
Yeah.
I learned that the hard way. The first time I showed houses by myself, I went and showed one of Danielle's houses, and there was no service, and I did not know the code. I knew it. It was in my phone in a text message from Danielle, but I was panicking, and there was no service, so I drove all the way back out to the highway, like a 5-minute drive, and I called her. I was like, "What's the code? They're going to be here in like 10 minutes." She's like, "I texted to you." I was like, Of course. I was like, but I didn't have service, so
Yes,
it's
you
panic
did.
mode Belinda.
Right.
I was like,
Yep.
this sucks.
Yeah. So it does because
Yeah.
it instantly puts you into panic mode because that's our job is to do all the panicking, all the stressing and whatever.
Yeah.
So on first meet, if they pull up and they see you panicking already, they're like,
Belinda's running around the house trying to open windows or something to get in.
I'm going to crawl in somewhere or another. I will get in this house.
Now the police are there because
Yeah.
the neighbors had phone service and they called 911.
Right, exactly.
Listen,
what in the world?
I will say I did show a house one time because for me, the worst thing is alarms, home alarms.
Yeah, if you don't know
Just
which
wait
way,
till you get your first one that you go in there and it starts going off.
And you know what?
the
I would have
agent
never
didn't
even
tell
thought
you.
about that.
No. Yeah,
Never
they're-
even thought about
So
it.
I set one off, which I'm notorious. I set every one of them off, but typically I can turn them off. But this particular one, I set it off, couldn't turn it off. I had service. The agent didn't answer me. And so I just showed the house, locked it back up, text the agent, was like, I don't know what to do. Next thing I know, here comes
police?
the cops.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I'm just an agent showing the house and I don't know how to turn it off.
and so that is another reason we stress so hard. Like here, what was it, a week or so ago, that our phones were down for whatever reason, and we had no clue. That sorry, but that rubs me really hard, especially if it's something that one of the 100 people that are here could have helped prevent.
Right.
Because it is literally our oxygen.
Yeah.
If we do not
can't
have
function.
service, we do not breathe. If your baby is choking, it's
Okay, that's
I
kinda
know
harsh.
it's a little drastic, but it is what it is. So, but it's stressful, and
It is, but that's
sometimes it can't be helped. But
Right.
like that situation. And the cops showed up and they were like, what's going on?
Yeah.
And I was like, well, see what happened was
You just got to do what you got to do.
my clients
Okay,
went
so
and got in the truck.
we're gonna get a phone call on her trying to get into a house through a window.
and that's
She said, "You gotta do what you gotta do."
I need a paycheck, man.
Listen,
I'm showing this house.
Yeah, we're getting in.
I'm here, they're here, we're making this
Is
happen.
there a
Yeah.
crawl space? I'll drill a hole.
That
You
would
now have a trap door.
I know how to patch it.
Yeah.
that is one thing we can say about UB is
She is pretty
you
handy.
got all kinds of tricks in your bag.
Yeah.
Where were we going?
I have no idea. We still don't know.
Yeah.
No,
We got a little off track.
That's the great thing about it.
exactly. That's the beauty of the show. But so we've got some.
But has everybody been introduced?
Yes,
Just
they've
in case?
already. Yes,
Okay.
this is Danielle Wiley. This is Belinda Carlton. This is D. This is B. All done.
All done.
All done. So we've got some. I'm gonna try to say this word, but I always mess it up.
Some
Statistics.
Some static.
So, some
have tried.
some of them things. Listen, we got to be comical, and my vocabulary is very comical.
Say it again.
Statistics.
Woo!
I did it. There's another one that I can't say, but
So we can
This one is-
just so that everybody understands how this show will probably change, how this Thursday morning deal will change.
it
over
will
the course of
change
time.
every show.
Literally, we had stuff printed off with highlights on it, and
These guys.
by the time we hit go, we're like, "Ooh, let's change it to this."
Dee
So-
said, "Let's do this one."
Yeah. So now we don't have highlighted sheets. Now we gotta hunt and peck. I mean, she does have a
I
cheat.
still kept it. It made
She
me.
still
it
has
made me
it.
feel better that it was right here.
Ben-
Why?
Ben-
No.
Benji, you have the cheat
Okay,
sheet for
you
the
do
for the
one.
columns to look at,
You do one, and I'll do one. Of them's 25, and one of them's 21.
and because you do.
Oh, okay.
And I don't care which.
So
one.
we picked 2021 and 2025, or yeah, we've done January
Current.
25 to current. And the reason we picked those is just kind of a comparison from that forbidden word that happened a few years ago, and what the market was doing then.
Okay, this is the first time I've looked at this one.
Yeah, I'm sure they changed a little bit because
Yeah,
now it's
so-
not all of Greers Ferry Lake. It's
So you
just Greers Ferry.
You and B kind of
Well,
talk
I
and let
understand.
Mandy.
I don't understand how.
I'm not sure what we're doing with those.
Well, y'all
Yeah,
just
you,
conversate.
you got here.
It's 112%.
Because look at the year.
I know.
Yeah, that's how, because there was a lot of for sale by owners.
But did that go?
See what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know how you can do that.
Unless it's sold before listed, which was what I would assume that is.
Oh, maybe so. Yeah. Right.
Yeah.
Anyways, we can pull statistics in our, I can do it, in our MLS. That kind of, we can put it into different classes, different, I mean, you can go as, I guess, detailed as you want to, or as just broad as you want to. And so we just kind of wanted to see some numbers because it's kind of cool to see numbers in our area. And when we say area, we did the just Greers Ferry area, not Greers Ferry Lake area, because that's a difference. Because Greers Ferry Lake area would include Fairfield Bay, Clinton, Heber.
Because
all
our
of
lake
that.
is 43,000 acres, so there's
Right.
a lot of miles.
And that's something that we need to clarify for, I say a lot of folks, for some folks out there.
Right.
Greers Ferry is a town of its own.
Yes.
We're not Heber.
Yes. We love Heber.
Yeah,
but
we love Heber.
We do
But
love Heber.
we
but
are a town.
we're
Greers
30 minutes
Ferry.
apart.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we are 30 minutes apart, which by lake, you're like 10.
10.
So
Yeah.
it's, it's kind of neat to understand that because Heber is the south, I guess, southern
south side of the
portion
lake.
of the lake. And
The
we're,
damn end.
yeah. Now, and so anyways, yeah. So that was just the area, what I wanted to break down.
Oh,
is
gotcha.
How this was.
And so
I
that
guess.
would be for your report and my report.
Right.
Is just,
D is looking at 21.
yes,
I've
Dee's got
21.
21, I have 25.
Right. And this is January 1st, 2021 to December 31st, 2021.
And mine is January 1 of 25 to May 31st of 25.
Which it's only May 15th.
Oh, it is. You
Is
set
that-
me up for failure on that one. To
Yeah.
current.
I just went,
To current.
Yeah.
because
Anyway.
you only have a month and year. That's the
Yeah,
only option.
it
You don't
is.
have days.
Right.
That's true. That's true. Okay. So we're looking at average of a 3-bedroom
House.
home.
And the reason for that is because that is
That's
when you
common.
when you look at the report. I mean, that was the most listed, most sold. So for the area, so therefore, and I would say that's probably pretty normal for most parts. Of the
So
world.
just this year for a 3-bedroom home, the current listing is 45. How many do you have? If 21.
Time out.
Oh, sorry.
And the reason we're doing 21,
Just because of that forbidden word that happened a few years
right?
ago.
We never established why we were doing.
Well, I
year
kind of
21.
said it, but y'all were chattering. I don't know if y'all may
Okay.
not have heard it. I hope everybody out there heard it.
Well, that's why.
Yeah.
Is because that was a very hot time
Where
here.
we needed like
We wanted a
2 or 3 clones of ourselves.
right.
Yes.
Okay,
Okay. So
back in.
back in.
So we kind of wanted to compare current to what everybody's kind of been used to the last couple of years, if that makes sense.
Right. Okay.
Okay. So you're 21.
Right.
So how many total listings in 21 did you have?
83.
For the 3 of 3. Or,
3
yeah,
bedroom.
3.
Yeah. And for 25 for 3-bedroom is currently 45
Okay.
listed.
And we're only halfway through the year.
Right. Right.
I'm not even quite half.
And how many do you have sold?
93.
How many listings did you have?
83.
So that That's huge.
That
Well,
kinda
and I
tells-
think it's like what he said, sold before listed, because that happened more than we could
That
even
happened
shake a
a
stick
lot.
at in 21 because
Our
a
house.
yeah, a house would be, you would go for a listing appointment, you'd already have 5 people in your pocket that needed that, that
And
was
as soon
looking
as
for
you
that
left,
house.
you were
Yes.
calling.
Yeah, and so it never even hit the market as a new listing. It hit the market as a sold before listed, which is probably why that number is
That's the only thing
larger.
that makes sense in my head.
Me too. I
Well,
agree.
I think it's that, and I think it was some for sale by owners,
Possibly, yeah.
because they wasn't listed with an agent, so they wasn't
Right,
in
but I
our
would assume for them to
MLS.
make this report, they'd had to have been listed, which they could have been for sale by owners that got listed after
Right.
some kind of,
Because that does happen too.
Yeah.
I mean, I just done a lot that away.
which is still a sold before listed kind of.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
And so I have 45 listed, so far 15 sold. So I'm at 33%.
And that percentage was 112%, obviously. Or over 100%.
What was your average pricing? List
Okay.
price.
So when we say list price, so this report says list price sold, meaning these are only talking about sold listings, sold
Yeah, and
properties.
Yeah.
Let's put it that way.
Mm-hmm.
So a list price is what it would have originally went on the market first time as,
Correct.
correct?
Yes.
Is that good at explaining that?
That's what it was listed at the time it sold.
Right.
Yes.
Now it may have been on at $399, and then by the time it sold,
Right.
it'd
it
been
got dropped
reduced
down,
to
dropped
$350
down,
or
dropped
whatever.
down.
But
Yeah.
So 262,380 is my average list price sold.
Wow. Okay. So mine average list price is 336,653.
Wow.
That's interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Because
I bet our
I
numbers
figured.
didn't jump until 22.
Was you checking my number?
well, you are talking about the average list price, correct?
Yeah. But
Okay.
I figured I would have thought those would have been.
Well, y'all have to
Hers
y'all
would
have
have
to
been more.
remember now we have the current list prices are we're looking at past stuff.
That's fair. That's
So
fair.
we're looking at those numbers to come up with these list prices to some degree.
Right. So your average actual sold price, though, what's the difference between your 3, whatever it was?
So my average list price was 336. My average sales price was 318.
Or is, I guess that would be, 'cause
Is
that's current.
Yeah, because I'm current.
Right.
Yeah, is.
And about the same, 255,720, and I was at 262,380. So about the same. Days on the market though is going to be curious.
Okay, so for me, days on market is 36.
This says 62.
Wow, those numbers are blowing me away.
Mm-hmm.
So the average days for now are 36,
Yeah, 36.
and the average days in 21 were
62.
62.
Huh.
How cool! That is interesting.
That is. How many expireds did you have? Look, she's like, wait a minute.
Did I print the wrong one? Did I?
0. No, it's for this area.
That is so believable.
Yeah, 0 expired though.
That's believable because it wasn't sitting there long enough to expire.
Mm-mm.
I have 8.
Which is kind of weird to say it wasn't sitting there long enough to expire
it
when you
still
have an
had
average
62.
62 days on the market.
I know.
But when you think about,
It didn't sit there long enough to expire is what I'm saying.
and
Well,
I
none of them did.
and I think that's
Right.
when I printed this report initially, I wanted to go back to get a full 12 months, past 12 months, is because, and I think that's why these numbers seem so skewed. So for next week, to be continued, we may do a year-to-year comparison.
Right. Well, the
A
only
12-month
reason
to 12-month comparison. That way you have
Yeah.
a full picture.
I wanted you to do an active listings of what was actually active right now, not sold.
That is total listing. Total
Total
listed.
listed is 159.
Oh, okay. So
right
that
now.
is different than.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I gotcha.
No, it's on yours too. That total listed
Oh.
up there in the first column.
Yeah, it does.
If you go all the way to the top at all,
Mm-hmm.
mine's 150.
This says.
And yours was 397.
Yeah, but you're talking all. That means vacant land and everything.
Right.
Right. Because we were just
Well-
talking about 3 bedrooms.
All your residential.
The residential is
Right.
It just
81.
includes all the residential in one column.
Yeah. So that's very interesting, the difference in the two. Do you want to look at it, B? I figure it's going to blow your mind.
But it,
No, I was
but
kind of
that
looking
is
over
your-
her shoulder.
If you're just looking at that one row, that is all your.
Listed. Right.
Yeah.
I feel like that was information overload.
Mm-hmm.
It was. It's a lot of info.
Yeah. Do you want to, while B's looking that over, want to jump into the next
Property.
Wrong
property?
button. Can. Is that a can? Yeah, we did.
So, I can tell you're just clicking over here, clicking over there, clicking
Oh,
over
you're
here.
watching me move stuff around.
Well, it's over here too.
Yeah.
So this piece of property,
Yeah, you talk about this one.
it is. I'll just say, I really like, and it's not just one piece of property. This is a
And
subdivision.
didn't we just sell a couple of them?
Sold 2 lots, trying to work on a third one. But this is a subdivision, and it's in Edgewater. We've got several lots in there, from inland lots to lakefront lots to lakeview lots in this subdivision. It's underground utilities. It's got fiber, paved roads. And I don't want to say it's an undeveloped subdivision, because it's not. It does have homes in there. And like David said, we just sold 2 lots. Hopefully we're working on a third one. And it's a beautiful area.
It really is. It was developed well. The roads are nice. It's a pretty subdivision.
It is. And so I'm excited to see how the subdivision is going. I know our sellers, he texted me yesterday. He's out there.
And for lots, they're pretty big, if I remember right, aren't they?
They're 3 acres.
Yeah.
Yeah. Some of them are. He texted me yesterday and said, you need to drive out to the subdivision. We've started clearing on one of the lots. They're going to their plan is to build a spec house out there, to kind of, show some development, some movement in the subdivision. It's a really, really pretty area, and I like that part of the lake, and it's awesome that the fiber's already there, the utilities are already there. It's just each lot has to be re-perked, because initially when the subdivision was created, I guess that's the word to say, they were perked then, but that's been many years
Too
ago.
long ago, so they would have to be
Yeah.
new perk test done. And for folks that don't know, what is a perk test?
A perk in this area is, we do not have city sewer.
Do not have
So if you buy a piece of land, it needs to be perked to see if the soil will hold a septic system. Because believe it or not, we do have good soil and we have bad soil. And so
And just because one lot next to you perks
does
does not
mean
mean the
will.
next one will.
I actually had a
The
guy
adjoining-
call
adjoining lot. Sorry.
adjoining.
Adjoining. I'm like Jesse now.
You're taking notes from my book.
Oh gosh.
I had a guy call me last week about this area, this subdivision, and he was like, well, I don't see why, I need a perk test because it's got houses in here and, whatever. And I told him, I was like, just because there's one does not mean they all.
Yeah.
And we're never going to tell you have to do anything, but we
Nope.
are going to highly suggest.
Yes, we will encourage it.
You will not be able to say we didn't try to talk you into it.
Exactly. So this particular property is, like I said, it is, bless you, it is worth, Karen says I can only bless you once.
Sorry. There might
So-
be a third.
I kind of figured. I would say it's definitely worth going and driving by, looking at it, because you can, like I said, you've got some that's on the back end, you've got some that's in the middle that'll give you a lake view, then you've got some that's on the front end that'll give you lakefront. It's just really, really pretty down in there.
It is. It's a nice subdivision.
Yep. So that one is, I'm not gonna.
And it's almost straight across from Devil's Fork. Not quite, a little catty cornered, but almost straight across from Devil's Fork.
Yes. And the beauty of that location is you can see catty cornered. You can see Devil's Fork boat ramp, but you can also see Narrows Bridge.
Yeah. I was gonna say I'd probably be able to see
Yeah.
the bridge pretty good.
So this subdivision is Edgewater subdivision.
It's in Edgemont.
It is in Edgemont. So I would highly encourage you going out and looking at it and picking out your lot so that you can build your forever home.
True that.
Hint, hint. Wink, wink.
That was a terrible wink.
Terrible.
It was
Hey.
a double blink.
Was it really? Did I blink at the same
Wink,
time?
wink.
Listen, don't call me out on my stuff, B. So, B, was there anything that I missed on that one, or do I?
I don't
Because
think so.
you had picked out this one here that B had picked out. It's actually 3 lots combined, which gives you 3.26 acres. And this one is the lakefront, one of the lakefront lots that we have down there. So I'll say if you want more information, call myself, call Jody, call B, call the real estate center.
Look, if you just want to have an awesome day of getting out, gallivanting, and looking, do yourself a favor and holler at any of the realtors. Get you a list of properties that
Stop in.
stop in,
We'll make you coffee if you stop in.
and just take a drive. If you don't do anything but just take a drive and ride by and look.
Yeah.
Not just this listing, but just map you out a trail all the way around the lake to look at all the listings. Just, you won't regret the drive and the ride.
Correct.
Yep.
Ooh, I have a question. If a property is listed and it has a for sale sign, a firm, a real estate firm, and it's listed, their sign is in the yard, in the property, do I have to call that agent?
No.
I can't hear you.
I know.
If you my brother, sister's cousin, uncle, you better call me,
Yeah.
or it's gonna be rough
Right.
for Thanksgiving.
No, you can show any property on the MLS in or out of your agency.
Okay.
Yeah. Is that what you're asking?
Yep.
Okay.
Because
No,
I think that
you should hire a realtor.
Yes. Hire a realtor.
Not
and
a
then,
not a name on a sign.
Right.
Hire a realtor.
correct.
Kind of like interviewing, like you
I
said.
was just fixing to say that.
Like you said, interviewing a seller will interview realtors for them to.
And a buyer can do
And
the
a
same
buyer
thing.
should do the same thing.
Yep.
You know,
Because
there
that-
might be somebody that works well with you, or doesn't work well with you.
Right.
And that's okay. Everybody's personalities are different. And
I'm not everybody's
100%.
cup of tea.
No. And so
You're not every.
A buyer should
I'm
do their
everybody's cup of tea,
research
but
and do the same
Yeah,
thing.
I mean, as a buyer or a seller, I mean, you should work with somebody that you feel like you have confidence and trust in.
complete confidence and trust in.
Because you're going to get personal.
yeah.
On some degree, you're going to get personal. So
Listen,
you want it to be with somebody.
we are not only your realtor, but we're your therapist, we're your contractor, we're your. We're all the things.
Yeah.
All the things.
And happy to do it.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, yeah. And I mean, me personally, when they get too personal, I don't even know that.
Well, I mean, but you're going to get to know things about people
Absolutely.
that most people are not going to get to know.
Yeah.
So,
And I think that's the fun part.
Oh yeah.
yeah.
I like it.
I'm the realtor that invites everybody to my house after we do a transaction. Come on to my house.
And I get
Come
on to
pet my
her
animals.
all the time for that. Stop inviting people to your
I know.
house.
My husband hates it.
As he should.
Whatever. He probably gets to build a new house after that.
Yeah, right.
That's fair. That's fair. But so, and I don't know why that question just popped in my head, because that is,
So if you're looking for a realtor, let's make a pot of coffee. We'll sit down and we'll talk and drink a pot of coffee. And if nobody in this building fits, it is what it is. I mean, we appreciate you stopping by and having coffee.
absolutely
No hard feelings.
no hard feelings. Not at all. But I wanted to touch on that because that is a very big misconception that's out there. Well, I seen it was listed, so I called that agent. Well, you don't have to.
Right.
Now, if you want to work with the list agent, it's called dual agency, where an agent works both sides. You can very much do that, but just know you have options.
Yeah. And I think it needs to be, like we just said, known and very highly recommended to. It's just as important for the list a seller to interview their agent they want to
Absolutely.
represent their property. Same as it is, it's just as important for you to interview them to help you buy your property.
Because
So-
either way, no matter what side of the board you're on, whether you're selling or you're buying, you're signing a contract.
Yeah, yeah,
Because it's no different with buying a car or
No.
buying.
Correct.
I mean, going to the doctor. I mean, I quit going to doctors before because we just didn't have we didn't have the same personality.
yeah.
The doctor I have now, he talks to me the way I like to be talked to, and I talk back to him that way, and we get along just fine.
Right.
The conversations are real interesting. I'm just going to
Yeah.
say.
Yeah.
I mean, his doctor actually told me to shut up.
Not in such terms.
Well,
but-
very colorfully.
yeah, a little more bluntly. But, And I was like, all right, you're my dude.
Yeah, it was great. Yeah, he's amazing.
Yeah.
Anyway, your doctor is not on subject today.
No, he's not, but it's kind of the same deal. I mean,
Yeah.
you're going to get to know each other in ways that it might as well be somebody you like and wouldn't mind having on your back porch at some point.
Correct.
Exactly. Invite them over to your house.
To the petting zoo.
To the petting zoo.
Yes.
It's a thing, I promise.
You go to D's for the petting zoo. You come here for the coffee.
Yeah.
You go to B's for the baked goods.
Could you imagine, Dee, if she had a stranger danger van? You want to pet the animals?
I can't.
You should have bought
Rolling down.
Jason Blangy's creeper van.
That Tara finally made him get rid of it.
Yeah. And
Terrible.
you want to pet my dog?
Can I pet that dog?
Oh my gosh.
I can't.
Anyway, so yeah, and this right here is in my head, in my thoughts, has been the whole goal and the purpose of this show is to be informative, but in a fun,
Right.
relaxed, non-serious way.
Yeah.
I don't know how to be serious that often. It's overrated and it's boring.
And it can be boring.
It's boring. So, but I will kind of like recap a little bit. Our goal is to put lending information out there. Basically, anything related to a transaction. Information out there, educate you on real estate world in terms and whatever, and let the viewers get to know each of us agents within the office, because
Well, it's nice to put names to faces.
Doesn't
Yes.
matter what industry it is.
It doesn't matter
Because
you always want to be able to see their, see their face, and
Well,
because
and
they
that-
might have called and talked to B, but they don't know what she looks like. So.
right, because I mean, we do talk to a lot of people that are from out of state.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And there's been some that even got all the way to closing and through closing and still never met them face to face.
Yeah, I mean, I've literally deposited checks of people that I have never met.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I mean, and it's,
Same for me.
It was the same when I was doing yards. It's the same. I mean, just like our Thursday night shows with our plumbers, our HVAC people, our
Yeah.
yard
Right.
cutters. I mean,
Because we are a resort area. So, and that's another reason why I wanted, to do this on the real estate end of it, because somebody may know Brandon,
Yeah.
but don't know that his wife is a realtor.
Well, they better, because I'd kick his butt for not telling them. No, I'm just
Right.
kidding.
oh, now he's scared.
Yeah, I know, right? I hope he watches
But
this.
now with with us doing this, and I think this is pretty cool,
Yeah.
there's 4 of us in here, each of us hold a real estate license, and so now we're not only putting information out there, but we're putting our faces out there. We're putting our personalities out
and
there.
you got different degrees. I mean, you got pretty new,
Newbie.
you got broker, and
We don't know
Broker.
what you are.
Yeah, we don't know what you are.
Newbie/broker.
I'm just hanging out.
You're
Do
just
what?
Be
light
hit
boy.
light boy, trash. I mean, he took out the trash this morning.
He does take out all the trashes.
Yes. And
That-
then
He's our gopher.
Yeah.
They only take me seriously whenever they need something done the day before
Yes.
closing.
Right.
Then I'm important.
yeah.
We need it done now.
I need that shed tore down, or we need
Haul it
to
off.
we gotta paint all this trim, or
Yeah.
that's the things behind the scene that people don't know that we do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's awesome. Y'all
Well,
did good.
Thanks, everybody.
Yep.
I think it was a good show. Now when people go back and watch it, they'll be like, I like D.
Touching the power cord.
Stop touching, period.
Gosh. Okay, we're
Doggone,
done.
this thing is.
She's
We're having some connection issues.
she's sensitive.
She is. You're getting
I
old.
saw you twisting it.
Well,
I was
I did.
sitting
I
here
twisted the
watching
power
you.
cord.
It's kind of like my
Don't
kids.
Touch.
My
Look,
kids are
the
like, I'm not
cords
doing
could
that.
be, intertwined under the table.
All right. Thanks, everybody.
Okay, bye.
Have a good day. Bye.